Hello everybody and welcome to Nina Williams In Depth. I'm your host Friendly Tree, and today I want to talk about Nina's binding whip. So, settings first. Pretty sure I'm happy with all the settings we've got here. Move list. So why do we call this binding whip? Well, surely it's because of the animation, but once again it's because it's in the move list. Move number 66 is called binding whip, which is up forward to 2-1. Most people just refer to this as up forward 2-1 and don't call it binding whip. This is the move here. Obviously because it's an up forward input, you can't just hold up forward and do it because you'll jump. But I guess you could land, and you couldn't because you're... So really it's pressing up, forward and 2 at the same time, and then 1. You'll see there is a bit of a delay. You can delay the second move here, but it's a 2-hit move. So we can see 18 frame startup on the first hit, 21 frame startup on the second. 18 frame into 21, but we've got a bit of a delay. And if I've got my numbers right, you can delay that up to 9 frames. The damage itself is 20 damage, and it's a launcher on normal hit. The first hit is only +1, 18 frame startup. And the second hit will end on block, it's -10. Oops, that's not what I want. I want to go stand, guardwise, alright. So -10. The second hit is -13 on block. So it's relatively safe for what it is. The range on the move, I think it's about 2.4. If we go to 2.4 there, it's about the best we'll get. So if I go past 2.4, if I go to 2.5ish, it will whiff. That's okay. 2.4 is a pretty good range for what it is. 18 frame, next 13 launcher. Not bad at all, is it? What else do we need to talk about? Linearity. So if we go guard wall, you know it's not good when I refer to it as linearity. So this move, so actually if you delay it, you can actually improve the tracking slightly, which makes for some interesting scenarios. But in general, it's pretty linear. Okay, so it's steppable in both directions. As you can see, the second hit tracks a little bit to the right, but it's really not too worthwhile there. What else can we talk about it? So we've got the range, we've got the tracking, we've got the damage. So of course on normal hits we're getting a full combo off it, and it's probably gives you the most creative freedom out of any of Nina's launches with what you want to do, because you can do anything you want. You can sidestep one, you can do whatever you want. So it's a good option as a launcher. Oh, because of the up forward input, we can input it from crouching. So if you block a low that's unsafe, let's go for a mega unsafe one, you can up forward 2-1 them pretty consistently, instead of having to crouch cancel or do it while standing 2. You've got more damaging combo routes, easy damaging combo routes too. So it's pretty good because of that reason, and many others. So I mentioned before about the 18 to 21, so after that move hits, you've got 21 frames before the next one hits. But how much time do you actually have between that to confirm that it's hit? So as a hit confirmable move, it's not really reliable. Delay it as much as you can, it's not going to work. And it's really hard to see and confirm because you've only got a 9 frame window there. Despite it being 21 frames after the first hit before the next one actually connects, there's 9 frames of leniency, I believe, for you to be able to actually get it to work. But with that in mind, delaying it can still be quite effective, because this is not a good example, but whatever you do, if you because you can delay it a certain amount, you'll find people trying to challenge it. If you've delayed it the right amount, they'll get hit by it and launched. So you can use it to bait people that are true button happy. So even though the first hit's -10, people are pretty crazy to punish it. And at the same time, that's not much of a punish, is it? Obviously different characters will get a different amount. Some characters may get a wall splat, so you've got to be careful with your positioning in that regard. But yeah, not a huge deal. Pretty low risk compared to a lot of Nina's other launches. I mean, it's the same sort of risk as while standing 2, but much more versatile and better range. What else do we need to talk about? It does have some high evasion, and this is a little bit weird to demonstrate. So, for example, if we go, what's a good example here? Down forward 1-2 into up forward 2. So down forward 1-2 on hit is +2, -3. Okay, good. So on block, I do a jab, and the up forward 2 will go under the jab. 1 or 2 jab. I do a magic 4, and it loses. On hit, same deal. Yep. Now if we go to something like 1-4, so that's +1 on hit, -4 on block. So we'll go on block. Oh, I didn't even do it, did I? Oops. So here at -4, it's not going to work, but at +1, it will. And I think 4 still wins. Yeah, it does. Then if we go to something like down forward 3-2, why am I not doing this? Oh no. No! So this is +2. +2 on hit, sorry. Yeah. And +1 on block. So +1 on block, this is going to work, of course. We just did it before, so it's the frames, it's not the move beforehand. And at +2, suddenly it doesn't work. Well, the 1 doesn't work. So we're looking at around, I'll do one more example. Let's say down 2. So this is neutral on hit. So we're looking at around the -2 to +1 mark, where you can use this to beat jabs. And there you go, at neutral, this beats magic 4. But it's not too reliable in that regard, and obviously it depends on the opponent's magic 4. But you can see there's some high evasion in that move, so that's good to know, isn't it? Other properties we need to talk about. While it does abound like launcher, because it was abound in Tekken Tag 2, it is not abound after a combo. It's a spike. So what I mean by that is if we put the opponent to quick back roll, they can't quick back roll. Opposed to something like 1+4, whoops, I did that too slow, where they can quick back roll. So this is a spike like up forward 1, which means you can get different Oki off it, while it also has properties such as floor breaking. So that's good to know because it can limit their Oki. But 20 damage, sorry, we'll do a jab, so we'll go the same. So 25 damage there, 26 damage there. So I guess you don't have as much use for it in that regard, do we? But it's still good to know its properties. Alright, I think that is... we'll talk about one more thing, and that's back 4. So back 4 is +18, meaning this is your go-to launcher in most matchups. Some matchups it won't reach, some ranges it won't reach, but yeah, you just need to figure that out yourself at the time. Okay, let's go on to application. Alright, how should we use Binding Whip? I mean, I think it kind of stands out because of it being a launcher, because of it being a mid-mid launcher, and because of it not being too unsafe, that it's a pretty good go-to whiff punisher. I think everyone's going to agree with that, although at 18 frame, It's kind of your own personal opinion between using that, reverse ivory cutter, or geyser cannon. But it's a good go-to one because of the versatility in the combo routes that you can do. So, and because if you do fail the whiff, all they get is a 13 frame punish, opposed to the other ones, 17 frame, 15 frame. So obviously 13 frame, you're not getting nearly as badly hit, are you? The versatility in its combos, like I said, is another great thing of it. And okay, as well as a whiff punisher, we should say it's a block punisher. So I mentioned before that because you can do it from crouching, it's often her go-to like Hell Sweep punisher or something like that, because Nina doesn't have a delayed hop kick, not a launching one at least. So you could do this, or crouch cancel geyser cannon for a little bit more damage for a much harder execution. So upward 2-1's often the go-to, and it's the same in other situations too. So if you go for anything that's really unsafe, obviously Nina has a lot of things that are like -17, so that doesn't help, but anything that's really unsafe, like a rage art, that's a good go-to punisher. Obviously geyser cannon is the other trade here once again, but it's a great block punisher. You can also do it from a backsway, so it's good at whiff punishing with the backsway or Hayashida. Yeah, and you get the idea there. How else can we apply this move? Okay, so at 18 frame, if you do a move, you can use it in 50-50s really, because 18 frame for that, well, you've got a 16 frame low there, 20 frame low. So let's look at these 20 frame lows, because they're really what you want to be using in the mix up here. 18 frame, if you do a slight delay, you could even just do like a quarter circle from forward to up, and that's, well, let's not do that. You could do it like a forward up forward, and you've suddenly added an extra frame or two to it, and then you've made it 20 frames. So you've made it so it's impossible to fuzzy. It's the exact same time as doing a down back 3 or a down 2. And then you've got moves like Ray Hands, which is plus 20, meaning even if you do this and add an extra frame or two, they can't do anything about it beyond defend. So it's a good move you can use for a 50-50 at a high advantage situation like that. Likewise, you could do it after a sidestep 1 on hit quite effectively, but once again, just be aware that you are forfeiting your turn when you do that. So it's pure 50-50 in this regard, opposed to the other uses of it, which is, whiff punishing. And it does have good application, I guess, on a back turn opponent too, because you can just quarter circle forward 1, which will flip them around, so you can get combos on pretty much any axis with it. Yeah, that was a cool ender. So, I mean, I think that's the main usage of it. I did talk a bit before about its high evasion, and I mean, that's a risky thing to do, but once again, if you know an opponent's going to jab check a lot, if you find a situation they're going to jab check, if you know that you're in either the low plus or low minus frames in that situation, it's not worth throwing it out to test it. And I mean, likewise, while I said you can't really hit confirm the move, or it's very, very, very tough if someone can, what you can do is you can look at someone's actions. So if I do that, so I can see there's no jab there. Oh shit. That example. Yeah. So I can react to someone doing a move, and then suddenly it becomes what we call a twitch confirm move, and that's how you can use it. Alright, let's look at the combo potential from it. So like I said, you can do anything from this move really, except an up forward 4. But if you really wanted, you could just do like a jab combo. Oops. Imagine it's like a low parry, I suppose, because that's what it is. It gives you the same sort of situation as a low parry. With that in mind, so you can really choose your combo route of preference. So you can go for an early tail spin, and then do whatever. You could go like you've seen me do, side step 1s. You can do a flashy side step 1 into side step 1 into down back 2 into side step 1. Oh, I dropped it. Uh-oh. Yeah. So you can really style with this. You can really make the character your own, which is great. You will notice some inconsistencies on some characters, but not really. Like, for example, the bears. Where's Kuma? There he is. Against the bears, for example, the side step 1 may seem a bit less consistent because of their stubby legs. If I do it instantly, I believe. Yeah, but what you can do is you just delay it. Sorry, you can't use a double, but you do a delay side step 1. Oh my god, good example tree. You saw me do it, you saw me do it. There we go. So it's just a timing thing. But other than that, you know, it's just really whatever combo route you want, except for ones that start in up forward 4. But you could do combos that have up for 4 in it still. Oh, sad face. I blame the beers for this. Yeah, whatever. But you get the idea. So because it's a bound, you've got, look at that, 49 frames. So 49 frames to confirm what you can do here, and do whatever combo you want that, yeah, you find comfortable doing. What else do we have application-wise for this? So I mentioned it combined at the end, but because of the 2 hits, it's not really useful. Oh, I know a good example. I know a great example. I mentioned it's pretty linear, but how you can delay things and it can actually have some interesting uses. I think Master Raven is a good example of this. So let's say Raven does that. Should I just stand there? Can I do a slight delay? Oh, you don't even have to do a delay there. Yikes. It's block punishable, but you can see how it turns around. Sorry, let's change the Master Raven to a custom one. There we go. But you can see in that example how you do this and it actually turns around. So while it doesn't have tracking per se, it can sort of chase the opponent. And you've got a few situations where it works very well in that regard, and doing a delay will work very well. That looks funny. And because of the advancing hitbox, you can do some fun stuff at the wall, which we'll get to in a second. We'll go here. While we're getting ready for the next battle, what can we do? I don't think it has many great uses at the wall, and like I said, if your back is to the wall, a lot of characters can wall splat you, so you've got to keep that in mind too. Let's see, we've got a wall. No, we don't want to switch positions. Alright, secret tree tech. This isn't actually that useful, but I'm going to demonstrate it anyway. So we've got them set up like this. Wake up backwards, guard all, whatever. When you do down foot 3-2, down foot 1, the opponent falls down in a funny manner, and that means you can actually dash forward and get on the other side of them. So you'll notice I'm catching them back turned there when they do a wake up backward. They do a stand up, same deal. Obviously they can actually stand up and block it. Sorry, it's the same deal of the cross up. But yeah, you won't get them wake up backwards, so then that's just directional, figuring out what to do. Wake up mid. I think if you delay the timing there, it can still beat the kick. Yeah. So if you get the timing right there, you can do the cross up, and you can beat a kick. So let's go to the stand up again. Okay, that's still whiffed. Yeah, but you can see how you can use this for tricky cross ups. It'll beat low kick. I'm pretty sure if they do a recovery kick, it completely whiffs, as in the recovery kick whiffs. No, it just does a get up low kick. Obviously they can't spring kick either, because you're going through the opponent. So you can use this to beat pretty much any option here. Obviously if they stay grounded or do a side roll, you're not going to hit them. And you lose your positioning. Look at that, like you'll get killed. So it's not overly practical. And if they tech, then same sort of deal. You don't get anything, but you do get a free 50-50 if they tech. So you do this, and they can't interrupt it. So that's how I'm going to demonstrate using it at the wall. I mean, you can do up forward 2-1 into the mix-up. Loses to techs, becomes a guessing game with everything except it beats get up attacks. So the moral of the story is don't get up attack against Nina at the wall. And then you go like that, and with Rage Drive you can quite easily get to the wall. I'm pretty sure I could get to the wall actually. Oh. Oh no. One more try. Yeah, so that's 124 damage off a reset, so that's pretty much a KO if you get the right read there on a stage like this. So you can see how it can have its uses. Anyway, I think it's time for us to go to the summary. Okay, to summarise the move, Nina's Binding Whip up forward 2-1 is a 2-hit mid string that comes out at 18 frames, then 21. It is a launcher, and the first hit's only -10 on hit. -10 on block or +1 on hit. The second hit is -13 on block, so it's pretty low risk for what it is. It's got alright range for what it is, so I think it's good in that regard, and it can often be used as a whiff punisher and a very consistent block punisher for moves that are -18 or greater. Very commonly, things like stagger lows it can be used against because of the up forward input. You can perform it from crouching. You can also perform it from a backsway. So crouching, backsway, and just standing, it can be very effective. Although there's a decent delay between the two moves, the actual gap for confirming is 9 frames, which means it's very difficult to confirm, and it's more of a twitch confirm opposed to a hit confirm. So you're looking for the opponent's actions to decide whether or not you complete the string or not. But sometimes just doing it with a little bit of a delay it'll beat 10 frames or anything slower with a bit of a delay, so it can still be thrown out because it's not very high risk unless you're at the wall, or I guess against certain characters that can launch you for being -13, like a Kurma. It tracks. It's pretty linear with its tracking, with a little bit better tracking on the second hit to Nina's left or the opponent's side stepping right, which is generally her weak side, and in certain scenarios it will turn right around. It also does have a couple of frames where it will evade highs, usually around the low negatives or low plus. You can throw this out and it will beat some characters' jabs, for example, or some magic fours if you're at neutral, as I demonstrated, or around those frames. It has a lot of creativity. You can really express yourself with this move with your combo options. It spikes and floor breaks, so it can be used for options there, and it can be used for different wall oki, as well as the very high damage usage from a combo. I definitely think that its main use would be as a block punish or a whiff punish, but obviously there are other uses for this move too, and that's what I've tried to address in this video. How do you find her binding whip? Do you use it much? Or do you opt to use things like reverse ivory cutter, geyser cannon, or just a down forward 2 as your main go-to launches? Anyway, comment below with what you think of this move and how you use it. I look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.
You win.
What's done is done.